Zombies Week is officially here, and we have 5 different videos teasing Black Ops 7 Zombies. Let's waste no time and jump in. Unfortunately, these videos don't show very much, but the first one you can see here is we have a table with jumper cables on it and a compass that is very much freaking out. Now, something that Codename Pizza reminded us all when they were talking to the creators about a month ago, they said that this map in Black Ops 7, the launch map, the Tranzit style of map, would be kind of like the Bermuda Triangle of the Dark Ether, which is very much what a lot of these things point to, specifically here with the compass freaking out. According to myth and legend, in the Bermuda Triangle, your compasses and your directional, tools don't really work in there. And the most popular myths of the Bermuda Triangle are all about planes that have disappeared. Now, in addition to this compass going all crazy, we have the jumper cables, which I suspect is going to be sort of how we first power up or charge the truck that we're going to use to get around the map, which we already kind of know about and we're going to see a little bit later here. But now let's listen to the audio of this exact teaser, and let's listen really carefully. So yeah, obviously not a whole lot to talk about. The first thing to me is the kind of sinister string music in the background. To me and a lot of other people that have pointed this out, this sounds sort of similar to the theme or darkness of Vanguard Zombies, which the aesthetic and the theme of Vanguard Zombies was actually one of the positives that a lot of people had about it. I don't know if that's exactly going to carry over, but I like the feeling that it gives me. As well as the zombies in the background, the zombies sound a little bit different, but that could just be environmental backgrounds too. But we will hear more of zombies in our next teasers. Now, moving on to teaser number 2, video-wise, all of these teasers are basically the same thing. We're inside of what I assume to be the main wonder vehicle that we're getting for this map. We see Mr. Peaks right here, as well as an old-timey radio. From what I've Googled, the BC and KC letters were phased out way long ago. I know at least BC was sort of like the AM radio back in the day, at least according to my very, very light Googling. The reason I bring that up is because we're in the Dark Ether, which is kind of this trash bin of the universe as we remember from Cold War, and having a very, very old radio really insinuates that everything from all these different time periods could be pulled together. Speaking of things getting pulled together, let's listen to this audio.
Mayday! Mayday! This is Echo 685. Position unknown. Repeat, unknown. Can anyone hear me? Shit, where am I? Instruments are dead. Altimeter spinning. Jesus, the clouds are glowing purple. There's electric discharge everywhere. I've never seen. Oh God, engine's failing. Controls locked. It's pulling me down. If anyone can hear me, do not. I say again, do not.
Hopefully I cut that down, it's a little bit more palatable for you. From all of this dialogue, it's clear to me that we're listening in on a pilot. This is probably some sort of audio log. You can hear by the melee, this is Echo, what was it, 680 going down? Echo 685. Now, the reason I know this is a pilot or think this is a pilot is because he says things like the altimeter is not working, my instruments aren't working, and the engines are going down. So very much getting the feeling that he's piloting something and he's, being drawn into this Bermuda Triangle type of Dark Ether event, whether that's an Aurora Borealis a la Peter McCain or just some Dark Ether incursion like something else. It's very, very fitting, like we said earlier with the whole Bermuda Triangle bringing in airplanes into this Dark Ether. It's so good for the lore. Also worth mentioning, we know he's getting drawn into the Dark Ether. We can assume so because he says the clouds are glowing purple and there's electrical discharge everywhere, which is very familiar terminology or imagery that we have for the Dark Ether. At the end, he panics. He tells people, hey, I repeat, don't do something. We don't know what he's talking about. Probably saying, hey, don't follow me, don't come after me, don't go to here, whatever. You'll get, pulled into this Dark Ether too, even though he doesn't know that. Now, in terms of who this is, I don't know. I've gone back and forth. Is it like a Peter McCain type of person because he's a pilot? Is it a Victus crew? They never really piloted anything. Plus, the Victus crew, aren't they already in the Dark Ether? Maybe this is backstory. It's hard to mention. I don't think it's any of those. I think this is some random audio intel, but people have pointed out that this sounds like a pretty prominent voice actor. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I'm sure we'll get more information soon. But now we have to talk about the next piece of intel or this teaser that we got. And once again, it's basically an audio log, so let's take a listen.
This is Senior Technician Molotov. I don't know what is happening. We were in launch, ignition countdown when whole facility, all of us, everything moved to this place. It was not earthquake. Нет. This was something else. Man, Tavarish, gone into nothing. Rocket, frozen. How? Fire still burning under engines. No movement. Air taste of metal. Blood. Wait, нет. Something is out there. What is...
Again, I just have to point out, I love the theme of this, everything getting pulled into the dark ether. This one talks about a senior technician. It's a Russian technician. Obviously, he has a Russian accent. He says "niet," which is the Russian word for no. He says that they were initiating a launch countdown when the whole facility and everything moved to this place, obviously the dark ether. He said it wasn't an earthquake, it was something else. He mentions that the rockets are frozen. Their engines are still burning, but they're not moving. He says that the air tastes of metal and blood. I just love that description of the dark ether. And when I first heard this for the first time, I thought, oh my goodness, maybe this is the Tempest crew's introduction. Maybe this is how they got into the dark ether, because that first teaser, or the second teaser, that's of a pilot going down into the dark ether. Maybe that would be this version of Dempsey. This is a Russian working on this launch facility getting sucked into the dark ether, so maybe that's Nikolai. But at the very end here, obviously, I don't think this person, this Russian scientist, made it. Plus, he sounds too scared to be Nikolai. Now, what a lot of people have pointed out is that first kind of audio teaser mentioned a pilot's plane going down, and here in this teaser, we have a launch facility getting trapped in the dark ether, very reminiscent of both Nacht and Ascension. Nacht famous for the plane crash just outside, and Ascension, obviously there is a rocket launch in that facility. And of course, this big map being in the dark ether, anything from anywhere from any time could be here, so they could go all crazy and bring in every single location that we've ever been to in some form or fashion, including the Ascension facility, including Nacht or Die Maschine, if you want to talk about that. On one hand, I think that's exciting. On the other hand, I really want new stuff, but if they pull it off correctly, this could be pretty fun. But let's move on to the third teaser. This one's entirely straightforward. Let's take a listen. Yeah, so basically this is just the Tranzit intro song. Very nostalgic, it's a classic. Came back in Alpha Omega 2, and right towards the end there, you heard a little bit of a growl, which I'm not going to talk about here because we have the final teaser to talk about. And there is a lot of weird things in here. Oh boy, this is a fun one. I'm excited to talk about it. We clearly have Ted at the very end there saying, oh boy, we're all gonna die. So a transit style of map with Ted being in here. This is fantastic. In fact, a lot of you beautiful people pointed out when we got this image however long ago, you mentioned that you might have seen Ted in the driver's seat here. We have our four characters, Richtofen, Takio, Nikolai, and Dempsey right there. But in the driver's seat, you can kind of make out another character. And if we zoom in, maybe that's Ted. Oh, that's hard to see. That is hard to see, but you might be able to make out a little robotic face right there. Little eye, robotic face. Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Either way, I don't think that's the most interesting thing about this teaser. What I love about this are the zombie sounds. First of all, it sounds like there are going to be new zombie sounds. And every time they do this, whether that's Chronicles or Black Ops 4 or, Cold War, Black Ops 6, whenever they change the zombie sounds, I'm always all for it. I love the nostalgic zombie sounds, but I love new stuff too. But what's not a zombie sound is this weird beeping. Very, very strange, like a whirling noise. It sounds like a mixture of both organic and computerized sounds. It almost sounds like something malfunctioning, but also being distorted. Really cool sound. And of course, we have to talk about that growl. Now, Now, a lot of people have said, I've seen a lot of comments about this. I do agree. This sounds a whole lot like a zombie bear, which I would be all down for. But I was in MZC's stream and his chat suggested that maybe the noises that we heard were coming from these new boss zombies. If we zoom in here a little bit, you can kind of tell this might be a zombie with like wings or something on it. I don't know. That could just be weird lighting. But this right here, you see this enemy kind of crawling on its two front hands, but it looks like it has a spiny back. Same thing here. It's not quite like an Ascension monkey, but it looks like lankier than an Ascension monkey. It doesn't look like anything we've necessarily seen, at least in gameplay, because then the chat kind of went crazy with the idea that maybe this could be whatever this creature is from the comic book series of Call of Duty Zombies. Now, this is a really, really deep pull for this. There's a whole like zero base in the zombies lore, which is basically where Ludwig Maxis, Dr. Maxis, not Samantha Maxis, but her father, put all of the very important items of the zombie storyline with the Vril device. Like Ted was in there. I think the summoning key and the Chronorium were in there at some point in time. But more importantly, in this zero base or empty earth, it was kind of confusing. There were these creatures. They were testing these different animals. I do think these were monkeys or something. Now, Greg FPS also claimed that these creatures were denizens. It's just that they look different in the comic book series. But man, I really, really love the idea that these things are the same things that we saw in this teaser image. They've got the lanky arms, the spiny back that we can kind of see right there. I'm a big fan of this theory. And this is what I love about zombies marketing. This is so cool. We don't have much to go on, but there's so many pieces we can start putting together. It's so exciting. Either way, I do think this audio is hinting at the boss zombies of the map, and it's a noise that we've never heard before. So hopefully that means it's a boss zombie that we've never seen before. That would be fantastic. New things are great. I love new things. Be sure to keep an eye out for a blog post or reveal trailer today. You know for a fact I will be covering anything and everything Black Ops 7 Zombies, so be sure to subscribe. And if you want the most up-to-date information that we already have about Black Ops 7 Zombies, be sure to check out this video and stay beautiful.